The Lucaverse is expanding. This is officially his third saga. I'm so proud of you, Luca. The Ballad of Lily, Part 1. The highest of highs. Valley High, they call you. The Ballad of Lily, Part 1. So good to see you back, bro. I hope life's working out for you. We've been teased Lily for so long. If you'd like some more backstory, there's Mudbeard and Tulsabeard that you can go through. And OP says, freaking subscribe to ReddX. I mean it. See the bell right there? Freaking click that too. I'll wait. No, Luca, that's not how we do it. We gotta offer them some incentive to subscribe, you see? So we start the story, then halfway in, that's when we say the subscribe thing. Always offer value to the viewer before you request anything, okay? Are you done? You better not be lying. All right, then, let's go. Howdy. It's been a while, hasn't it? I won't make excuses. You're here for that juicy beard content, so let's freaking careen into it at highway speeds. That's all right. My spine's strong. I can handle that. I don't even need a seatbelt. Watch me. In this story, there are indeed two beards, and one of them is me. Leg gasp. We've seen it on the channel before, but I love that self-reflection. The other, well, if you're all caught up on my tales, you probably know about Lily at this point. If not, I suggest looking at ReddX's playlist, cause he got you. Yeah, them's in the description. And knowing the history is kind of required reading if you don't want to read or listen to a novel today. I mean, they probably do want to listen to it, right? That's kind of what I'm here for. And also to interrupt it every 20 seconds. All right, go. Sorry, OP, go. I struggle to call Lily a legbeard. If anything, she was kind of beard bait. She was just, I don't know, a flawed person. We both were. Hell, I still am. We all are, in the end, and this tale is putting my flaws on full display. I'll say here that I do not hate Lily. I never will. I still love her deeply, and I always will. But loving someone and being in love with them are two very different things. That bridge has burned and my wounds have healed. I have little room in my heart for hate, and I won't make that room for somebody that I last knew like nearly a decade ago, no matter how long that person had been a part of my life. Bro, this is gonna get heavy. It's like some self-reflection, therapeutic style stuff. That's good. I'm generally not very helpful with that, but the comments section tends to be, so check that out. Before we go on, some quick disclaimers. As this tale goes on, there will be mention of emotional maltreatment, self-harm, and gaslighting, and if that bothers you, well, this isn't the tale for you. I won't take it personally if you check out. As I'm recounting this from almost 10 years ago, obviously conversations won't be verbatim, but will be recounted to the best of my ability with all people's personalities as best I can intact. With that out of the way, let's get into the cast list. It'll be a little bit verbose since it's been a while. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's your world. I'm just narrating it. OP, that's a me. Edgy goth kid, I suppose adult? It's debatable at this point in my life. Illegal street racer for a time. One-time accidental PIMP. A beanpole of a guy. Oh, we did narrate that story too. Okay, that's in the description as well. A beanpole of a guy with a budding beer gut, thanks to my teetering on the edge of alcoholism. Oh, that's unfortunate. Heidi is my former fiance, busty redheaded nympho short stack that cheated on me. Meg is Heidi's sister, developmentally disabled and pure-hearted, one of the kindest people that I have ever known. Ray, yeah, he's a real one. He was an illegal straight racer right alongside me. Black dude with a cloud strife type of hairdo. Recently got himself a girlfriend and was head over heels for her. And Lily is the quote-unquote beard of this tale. My paramour since high school. We were off and on for a long time because, I don't know, long-distance relationships are hard. I moved to Memphis in a desperate attempt to be with her until Hurricane Katrina forced us apart once more, where I settled in Tulsa, where this tale takes place. Conveniently beautiful, with deep pools of hazel framing her perfect face, long black hair flowing down her back, about 5'2" of Latin fury and maybe 95 pounds sopping wet. I'm gonna tell you right now, looks ain't everything. God came down from heaven and put a hurricane between you and her. And that didn't drive the message home. So he stepped back. He's like, okay, I guess you gotta learn your own mistakes. It doesn't have to be God, I guess. It could be the universe, whatever you call it. Fate. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's dive into this tale. Where last we left off, Heidi was revealed as a cheater. Gasp. A few weeks later, Lily had told me that she still had feelings for me, and me, having recently had my heart broken, was a little more than taken aback by her confession. To this time, I had convinced myself that her and I were just friends. We tried being a couple, it didn't pan out, and that was just where we were. I was still deeply in love with her, but I also respect boundaries and don't try to push my feelings onto other people. In short,
a surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
God damn, we Star Wars all over the place right now. So we were talking via AIM, AOL Instant Messenger for the youngins who might not know. Lily said, I'm still in love with you. OP said, oh, good answer. Lily, so I can't talk with you anymore. It hurts too much. OP, would it help if I said, I love you too? Bro, this getting mushy. Lily, it would. OP, to be honest, I never stopped. I told myself a long time ago that if you ever wanted me back, I would drop everything to make that happen. It's a bad policy, honestly. So, is this happening? Do you want me back? God, I hate that. OP putting himself on the back burner. But he's already acknowledged his own flaws. It's fine. I do just want to point out that don't ever do this to yourself, ladies or fellas. Lily says, I do. OP, all right, let's figure out how to make it work then. And so we did. Some discussion, and she said since I had made the move to Memphis first, it was only fair that she be the one to move to Tulsa this time around. Oh no, yeah, totally. Different city, it'll work out. All we needed was a change of venue. Oh boy, I agreed and said I would get started on getting an apartment for us immediately. I called Ray and asked if I could stay with him for a while until I got enough money for a security deposit on an apartment. I explained Heidi cheating on me, Lily, everything. He knew of Lily, of course. All my friends did, because before Heidi, she was always at the back of my mind, just a thought away. Ray agreed, and I resolved myself to leave that night. A decision made. Best to rip off the Band-Aid. Love is such a difficult thing. If you find the right person, really hold on to them. Watching Luca take this whole journey just really makes me appreciate wifey, you know? And so, I asked Heidi to come into my room so we could talk. She sat on my bed, and I sat myself on my computer chair. OP, I don't mince words, Heidi. I'm leaving you, and I am leaving tonight. Heidi, surprisingly, despite tears beginning to well up, nodded. I knew something was going on. It's really just a matter of time, huh? She smiled, even though the tears were flowing freely now. OP, it's Lily. At the mention of her name, Heidi choked back a sob. She's still in love with me. And I love her. It's not fair to you that I keep a relationship going behind your back. Oh, that's a little knife to the stomach considering Heidi's cheating ways. We just found out about it, and you do deserve to know. Heidi, I should have been more reluctant to let you talk to her, I guess. Bro, that's... you're missing the point completely. But if that's how you feel, I really can't change that. We hugged. I let her cry in my arms for a while, and after she had a little time to process things, I started packing my meager belongings into my car. Here I go again on my own. There wasn't much. My computer, chair, clothes, toiletries, etc. I advised Heidi that I'd be back to get my bed in a few days, and with that, I left. I stayed with Ray for roughly 3 weeks, saving every single penny from my now decently paying job and putting the deposit down on an apartment in the same complex. A 2-bedroom unit with no laundry room. Not much, but I mean, it was something. Bro, 2 bedrooms? Look at you balling out. I had to have a roommate with a 1-bedroom when I was stateside. And then, just like that, I was alone, at least physically. I will gloss over moving out of Heidi's place. Meg cried and clutched her teddy bear as Ray and I loaded my bed into a rented truck, asking why Uncle OP had to go. I just told her that Heidi and I were going on different life journeys, and mine with her ended here. That broke my heart. Wherever Meg is, I really do hope she's all right. Heidi mostly stayed in her room crying as well. I have my own regrets about how things ended with Heidi, but with the benefit of hindsight, she was the right person at the right time, just not the right person for all of the time. I mean, sometimes we're looking for Miss Right and we find Miss Right now. You know, people come together and they come into your lives for a reason, but they also leave your lives for a reason. So yes, I think all of this is good. It hurts a little bit, but we lived and learned, and that's what it's all about, right? I never told her that I knew she cheated on me. Despite cheating, Heidi was a wonderful, kind, generous woman, and if things ended between us, I'd prefer that I be the a-hole in the end, not her. I don't know, man. At that point, I just lay all my cards on the table. Be like, look, I would have stayed faithful to you, but I know you'd not been being faithful to me, so I found an out. Anyways, OP says, I do hope that I made it easier for her. Maybe hating me somehow eased the guilt of her cheating. I cheated in my own way, being honest. I somehow always hoped that my chats with Lily would one day end with her saying that she loved me, so I'm not blameless, and I openly admit it. I don't know, man, we're kind of comparing apples to oranges right now, but both the apples and oranges are emotionally betraying the other person, so I don't know. But I digress, yes. Living alone, I did my best to kick my smoking habit. It was part of the deal of us getting together. Lily openly abhorred smoking. Her nose was very sensitive and it offended her greatly. It would be several months before she could move in with me due to her lease, but I was patient and we kept in contact. About 1 month into our new relationship, I asked if I could come visit her. She was overjoyed and instantly agreed. I left my work Friday to make the 6-hour drive to Memphis. When I arrived and she opened the door, all of these feelings that I felt when we had first met came rushing back to me instantly. I knew in that instant that I wanted to spend my life with her. I've mainly spoken of Lily in my tales in the hushed tones of one that you might refer to if they were not to be named. Someone sinister and forged of pure evil. But she was a woman, a human being, capable of kindness, and the kind of person who wears her emotions on her sleeve. I always admired that about her. She was unafraid of expressing herself and always had been. She grinned a cocky smile at me, eyeing me up and down, dressed in loose pajamas since I'd arrived later at night. Finally put some meat on those bones, she said, in a coy way that made the caveman part of my brain fire on all cylinders. Yeah, OP gonna tear them loose pajama pants right off. Oh my god, he's an animal! I laughed and said, yeah, Tulsa's kept me fed well. A far cry from my ramen and peanut butter sandwich diet when I was last here. What you should have said was, I'm about to put some meat on your bones. Or something like that. Do you want to be the meat on my bone? No, I don't know. Don't say any of that, that's terrible. She giggled. Oh God, her giggle. It was as if angels had come down with small trumpets to announce the cutest laugh ever. Bro is just really sprung, huh? We hugged, and it lasted for some time before she invited me inside of her home. Now here, readers, is where I will pause. When I was in Memphis, the only time we had alone was when we met in either of our vehicles. She was still living with her parents at the time, and her maltreating stepfather would absolutely not tolerate a man in his home with his stepdaughter. Ba-da-dung-dung-dung-dung-dung-dung. Welcome to Tennessee. If anybody bangs my stepdaughter, it's gonna be me. By gum. God. Sorry. Not sorry. Meanwhile, I, on the other hand, lived in what could best be described as, well, a crack house with zero privacy. But here we were alone. Finally, in her own place. You know what's about to happen, right? Fade to black. It was awkward at first. Neither of us were great at interacting in person, since we were both effectively antisocial shut-ins. But we did make small talk and reminisce. Because it was late, time was not on our side, and so soon sleeping arrangements were made. I stayed in the living room on her futon, while she slept on her waterbed in her room. I don't think either of us slept much. My mind was running a marathon. So long spent apart, and now she was only a wall away. It made me feel comfortable and anxious all in one motion. But somehow, between my racing thoughts, I finally got some sleep. I'm honestly surprised you guys didn't just clobber each other, because that's what I was expecting, but instead they awkwardly go to bed? Okay, I guess it does reveal more about both of their character. I was awoken the next morning by her rushing out the door to work. I said a bleary good morning, and she gave me the password to her computer so I could fart around online while she was gone. I got up and drove myself to a nearby gas station for a meager breakfast, and then returned to her home, ate, and settled into her chair to poke around. I saw that old familiar icon on her desktop, Zmud, and the memories of our time together came rushing back. I opened it, and a macro to automatically log into her account ran. I was an imposter. Sounds pretty sus, bro. You're kind of making me want to revisit my old mud, but I use Mush Client instead of Zmud. Whatever. I said hello in the general chat of the mud, and I got a flood of replies. She was still active on this mud, and part of me was happy about that. I immediately dispelled all doubt and revealed who I was. OP? Came the replies. Why are you on Lily's account? Watch Luca get her account banned for for multi-logging. Oh boy, I'm sorry about that. Luca says, oh, I was just visiting her. I happened to open the program and it auto-logged me in. You're visiting her? You guys are dating again? Oh, he's the White Knight Beta Orbiters. Yeah, she's moving in with me in a few months. And with that, I logged out of her account and back into my own, which was surprisingly still active despite my long absence. I continued catching up with old friends from the mud, one of whom was Mudbeard, who I had avoided for a while because he was honestly a little cringy and clingy, even back then. Still, he was a nice enough guy online, and I was happy to while away the hours waiting for Lily, just catching up with people that I hadn't talked to in years. Honestly, that's one of the most comforting things about a mud. I know I can always go back to it. After some time, inevitably, I got up and just looked around the apartment that she had. It was a simple one-bedroom affair, but she had tastefully decorated it with crimson curtains and some weeby accoutrement on nearly every surface. And off to the side, boxes had begun to be filled with non-essentials and stored away for her coming move to Tulsa. That sight made everything more real for me. Those boxes meant a commitment from her. I had to do my best to live up to those expectations and move past my mistakes that took her from me in the past. I settled back into her chair. I didn't want to be a nosy person, so I just logged back into the mud and chatted with folks for a bit. I mean, good on you for not being nosy, but I know she would not have given you the same courtesy. Before long, Lily did return home. She saw me on the mud and laughed. Nostalgia hit you? She poked my ribs with that cocky smile of hers, and I laughed. Yeah, a bit. How about we get some supper? She agreed, and we walked to some local barbecue joint. When you're in Memphis, you need to eat some Memphis barbecue. Facts. We had small talk while we ate, and eventually we returned home as the sun began to set. We stepped through her threshold, holding hands, just such a simple act, making my heart flutter. She moved like a quiet breeze, fluid, like she was wind itself. That's pretty poetic for something that is inevitably a trap. Eventually, the topic of the mud came back up. OP, yeah, it was nice catching up with old friends. I'm glad you're still active on there. I'm surprised you hadn't told them about us. She held one of her arms timidly and looked down. Lily? Yeah, about that. OP? Oh, some scandalous secret, huh? Lily? I was kind of dating a guy from there until I realized I still had feelings for you. Bro, everybody got something on the back burner, don't they? Look at this! So many cooks in the kitchen, or something like that. She said his name. I knew him. He lived in Australia and was sort of my protege when it came to running RP events in the mud. I wasn't mad. We'd spent years apart. I shrugged and embraced her. It must have been hard for him when you broke the news. You're quite a woman. Sorry you had to do that, but I'm glad you did because that meant that I could be here now with you in this moment. Are we sure she actually told him? I looked down at her, which made our height difference even more stark when hugging closely, and she smiled at me. Yeah, I guess some good has come of it. Sure, whatever. She stood on her tiptoes and puckered her lips, closing her eyes briefly before popping one back open with a peering gaze. When was the last time you smoked? She asked. I laughed. Like a week ago? I even made sure to wash my clothes twice before coming. She closed her eyes again. I leaned down and kissed her, and that kiss led to a deeper kiss, and we'll just do a tasteful fade to black right here. But suffice to say, we made love for the first time. Oh, I guess I didn't catch all that this would be like your first time. Like together or ever? I guess together because there was the whole thing with Heidi. Whatever, moving on. OP continues, it's strange. When I was younger, my V card was taken by this serial cherry popper. She had no love in her heart for me, and I had done the deed with many people since then, and all of those times, it was and it felt good. And more than once, I had done it with someone that I loved, and I thought I knew what making love was. Even with Heidi, when we banged it out, I thought, yes, this is what it is. I love her, and we are doing the deed. But I was wrong. I mean, I thought I loved a lot of people before too, but you don't really know until you know, you know? No, I had never made love before. I had banged it out, sure, but never made love. And this was love. This was pure, unabashed, naked love. Yep, we established that one. Two people truly becoming one. I just had sex, and it felt so good. It was as if the stars had aligned and time itself had stopped. I could have lived forever in those few glorious hours. Time is a cruel thing, however, and it moves on even in protest of it. Soon we were laying side by side on her bed, cuddling, talking of life and plans, the future, everything. She was so easy to talk to now. See, that's why I recommended y'all did this on the first night. But okay, we were perfectly in sync, as if we had never spent a day apart. I don't remember what I was talking about, but soon I heard her breathing slow into a steady rhythm. She had fallen asleep in my arms. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Lily awoke before me, and she gently nudged me awake. Oh, my arms asleep, she mumbled sleepily, her normal, fastidiously straight hair bundled into a cute, frizzy mess on her head. I chuckled and got up, slipping some clothes on as she did the same. She had today off, so we could spend it together. We decided to just cohabitate for the day, watching anime and just existing in one another's space. Yeah, this is good. It's like a little test. We sat together on a futon, now folded back into the couch position, and we just relaxed. Soon enough, it was time for me to leave. I'll be honest, I didn't want to go, but we had plans in motion, and I was determined to make this work. I stood to leave, we hugged for a time, and she looked up at me. I want you to say it, she said to me. I knew what she meant. I had said it during our lovemaking, but it got lost in noise and passion. OP, Lily, I love you. She beamed a smile at me and stood on her tiptoes to give me another quick kiss. I love you too, OP. Yeah, this is a mushy episode, isn't it? And then I was gone, headed home, my heart warm and full. I arrived at my front door and entered my empty apartment just as dusk began to fall on fair Tulsa. She wasn't with me anymore, but I was all right with that. We'd be together soon enough. I went out to the balcony and lit one of my few remaining cigarettes, ruminating on the weekend that we had spent together. So was OP being a bit dishonest by saying he smoked a week ago? Or are you really only smoking 1 cigarette a week? Because at that point, just quit, bro. If all of that was a preview of what our life together could be, I couldn't have been happier. And that's where I'll leave things off for today. You might be wondering, well, where the hell was the beardery? My friends, to experience my lowest lows, you also must experience my highest highs. With context, you'll get a fuller picture of who I was, who she was, what she meant to me, and most importantly, why I stayed. This ballad will be, as always, an honest recounting of this period of my life, my flaws on display, as well as hers. Next time on the LCU! That's Luca Cinematic Universe. Hey, I like it. Let's adopt the branding. The Ballad of Lily Part 2. No apologies for spelling or grammar mistakes. Own your mistakes. Luca out. I really am halfway tempted to jump into the other one so we could get at least something squeezed out of this. See the startings of it falling apart. Because I know people ain't going to be satisfied with, like, happy love story. Hey, we lived happily ever after. Oh, that's cool. The end? Great ReddX video. I'm sorry, that's not what people come here for. So let's go into the next one. Why not? The Ballad of Lily Part 2. Love Revolution.
Goddamn hippie!
Whoa, dude!
Get out of here!
No!
The Ballad of Lily Part 2. Freaking subscribe to ReddX. We've been through this before, and now that I have offered you some content, I feel good asking you to subscribe. Please do it if you haven't already. Hey, guys, gals, my ladies, and gentlethems, and all the colors of our wonderful rainbow. It's your favorite accidental PIMP and street racer, Luca, again, here to continue my Ballad of Lily, the woman who, in many ways, influenced much of my life, in some ways, ruined it, and in others, enriched it. She, like anyone else, was a flawed human. We call this a LegBeard saga, but I truly struggle to call her an out-and-out LegBeard. She was just different, and she maltreated me a little bit. I mean, okay, a lot of bit. But let's press the gas pedal on this ballad, and we'll continue where we left off. Cast list, it's small today. OP, that's me. Lily, my now girlfriend, currently living in Memphis, but with plans to move to Tulsa. Ray, my friend from racing days, currently shacked up with his girlfriend. And Matt, the realist, a rock during some of my hardest times. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and drive straight into our next installment. This episode, The Ballad of Lily Part 2, Love Revolution.
Goddamn hippie!
Whoa, dude!
Get out of here!
No!
Where we last left off, I was standing on my balcony, a wispy trail of smoke filling the air as I leaned over the railing, cigarette pursed between my lips. I was elated, scared, and nervous, but my thoughts kept going back to my short stay in Memphis with Lily. It was like a taste of paradise, and I truly longed for more. However, I am nothing if not a patient man. Another month passed without much happening. Lily and I talked every night, and even webcammed with one another regularly. No lewd business, we really did just want to see each other. Yeah, see each other's genitals. Got him. One night, she mentioned she had a 3-day weekend coming up, and I suggested she come see the apartment that she'll be living in when she moves here. She happily agreed, and so once again, plans were in motion. I kept a decently clean apartment, so little cleaning was necessary. However, I needed to purge the apartment of any smell of smoke, so a rigorous cleaning was in order. Every surface was cleaned, fabrics washed or Febrezed where needed. A little over a week passes, and she calls to tell me that she's on her way on a Thursday evening. OP, how long are we going to keep up the non-smoking charade, huh? To say I was excited was an understatement. Had I a tail, well, it would have wagged itself clean off. I didn't have many worldly possessions, having lived a rather Spartan life up to this point. The living room was practically barren, minus the couch. I only had a basic dish/silverware set from Walmart, and my pot and pan and utensil situation was a joke. But I had a bedroom, and a computer, and a television in my bedroom. Well, look at you balling out on the important stuff. Buy some silverware too, please, thank you. All of this was before HDMI was so ubiquitous, and it was an old 27-inch CRT that was able to mirror my computer's display via S-video connection. I would put videos from YouTube onto my TV and sleep. I didn't have any cable. Sorry for the tech tangent. It was a simple life, but the apartment alone was a good 50% of my income, so I didn't have a lot left over for luxuries. I don't understand what else you need besides a couch and a TV. You're fine. It's good. A little after midnight, Lily was at my front door. We embraced, and she sighed. I miss this, she said softly, squeezing me as tightly as her little arms could. I miss you, I replied, giving her a bit of a squeeze in return. Kisses were exchanged, and I helped her bring her weekend belongings upstairs to my apartment. Bro, if we don't get some tension right now, I'm about to get diabetes. I showed her around. Not much of a tour because there wasn't very much to show. I showed her where her room would be. I gave her the larger room because she had more furniture. There was one shared bath, a galley-style kitchen, and a decent-sized living room. Ball of stuff! She took her time looking around, hemming and hawing at various things. She whistled at her bedroom. It's almost as big as my current one. I should be okay here, she quipped. Once more, closely examining the state of the living room and its singular couch, she gave me the "you live like this" stare. Oh yes, you can see it going off the rails, can't you? Just hypercritical, not willing to accept anything that isn't her own way. It's going off the rails. You can already see the beginnings. Keep in mind, friends, that at the very beginning of a relationship is the best that it's ever going to be. So if she's already acting like this, bro, up and out. You need to go. But OP says to her, yeah, I live like this. It's not like I need a lot to be happy. Don't freaking judge me. But I just laughed it off. No, you should have said those words. I just never had a need for a lot of furniture or decorations, I said, scratching the back of my head nervously. Thank goodness I'm coming here, because this place needs a woman's touch. For sure, she responded while rifling through my kitchen. Confidently, she held my single pot aloft like a sword, ready to strike down her foes. Little did OP know he was the foe. You have one pot, she glared at me, but I knew it was a playful glare. That sounds like a load of copium right there. Hey, look, I have a pan too. That's two things, I responded while walking towards her. She playfully bonked me on the head with the pot as I approached, which was a reach. Yeah, also probably not okay. Also probably foreshadowing things to come. I don't like. She had to stand on the tippiest of her tiptoes for her small arms to even reach that height. I poked her in the ribs and she gasped. How dare you? She tried to interject before I snatched her up into a hug, kissing her. The arm holding the pot went limp as she kissed back, holding me with her free arm. It's late. We should figure out our sleeping arrangements, I cooed as I led us into a gentle hugging sway. I didn't have a futon for her or myself to sleep on, and sleeping on my couch was out of the question, as I am what my now wife refers to as a tall, and I wouldn't catch a wink if I tried to sleep there. And of course, I would not banish Lily to the couch, so we decided to give sleeping in the same bed a try. Yeah, this was kind of inevitable. You already banged it out. Our last visit was a bit of a fluke. I fell asleep in her bed out of pure desire to not disturb her as she slept. So we lay in my bed. I usually have a box fan running for white noise to help me sleep. I asked her if it would bother her, and she shrugged. I usually sleep in complete silence, but I'm sure I'll manage, she said, a hint of grump in her voice. Already, man, the signs are there. I decided to just stick to the plan, however, and turn the fan on as we both turned in. She had brought her own blanket, which was good. We were both self-admitted blanket thieves, so having our own would lead to less strife. We cuddled for a time, talking about nothing in particular, and finally both turned to sleep. I'll say it took some time for me to get used to sleeping on the right side of the bed, but Lily insisted she take the left as she was most comfortable in that position, and I wanted her to be as comfortable as possible. All right, man, fast forward to destruction. I'm getting bored. Despite the change, I was able to fall asleep in a normal amount of time, which at the time for me was about 2 hours. Beyond quitting smoking, I resolved to stop drinking myself to sleep. Lily was uncomfortable with excess alcohol consumption because of her stepfather, and that was understandable. However, one unhealthy dose of Benadryl, and I was able to eventually drift off. We awoke shortly after daybreak, sunlight peeking through the extra blanket that I had nailed to the window as a bachelor curtain. But we ain't in the zombie apocalypse. Go buy some blackout curtains, Kay? We got dressed and I decided on a plan for the day. A terrific tour of the treat of a town that is Tulsa. Oh, look at that alliteration. You're trying to pull me back in, ain't you? We piled into my Eclipse and I decided on IHOP for breakfast. What better way to celebrate the arrival of one's love than a toppling tower of panned cakes topped with only the best syrups? I was a little out of my budget for this month, but then again, I was never accused of being the fiscally responsible type. After that, we went on a tour. I took her to see some of my old haunts, my first apartment in Tulsa, the carpet and tile store where we met up for cruise nights, the Denny's that we frequented with Julie's, and more. One place that particularly interested her was a bar that we used to often visit called Magoo's. It was a bar and pool hall. At this point, it was Friday afternoon, so we decided to go inside since Lily's ears perked up at the mention of billiards. Hoo boy, about ready to hit the fast forward button for all this, but I don't know, I asked for it, so here we are. You can leave, I can't leave. But hey, maybe this is where it gets spicy, because here's the part where we dive into Lily's past a little bit. Her birth father, a Navy man until retirement, was really into billiards. And Lily wanted to spend time with her father, as all daughters do. Him being the kind of father he was, who is still to my knowledge a good man. Lily's mother divorced him, and I can't for the life of me remember why that was. Maybe it was the other way around. I digress. This whole thing's been a digression. He would take her to the pool halls with him when she was old enough to reach the table, and he would let her play. However, if she lost, she had to wait her turn with all his buddies to have another chance at playing, and this went on for years until she was able to win. A lot. She was 10 years old and schooling people who had been playing for decades at pool. Kids' brains is absorbent, what can I say? She just had a knack for it. I didn't know any of this until we played our second game. See, she threw her first game intentionally. I wasn't particularly good at the game, but she just couldn't seem to make the balls go into the pockets. Then she made a bet with me. Classic pool shark move, honestly. All right, if I win, supper's on you, she said, acting like it was her second game of billiards ever, but with determination in her eyes. I didn't know in that moment, but I was being played. Yeah, on multiple levels. Fellas, Lily was a pool shark. I got maybe 3 shots the whole second game. She kept sinking ball after ball, and before I knew it, I had just agreed to paying for supper. Completely baffled, I called Ray and Matt and asked if they'd be down to shoot some pool at Magoo's, for old time's sake. It was a bit of a beg to get Ray to come along, because he was attached at the hip to this new girl, and dislodging him was almost akin to surgery. Matt, however, agreed instantly. Lily and myself settled down at the bar for some food, which I paid for, of course. And she relented with a pout that counted as supper. So what's OP's plan here? He's just a mark introducing Lily to more marks? What a story, Mark. As we were finishing up, Ray and Matt arrived. I introduced the two of them to Lily, who gave her best innocent smile. Ray, so you actually exist, huh? Good to finally meet you. Matt, I'm just as surprised, to be honest. OP would always talk about you, but I never figured you two would actually get back together. Lily, oh, he talked about me. What did he say? She smirked at me, hoping to dig up some juicy dirt. Matt, oh, he just pined for you. Constantly, really. Especially when he got drunk. It got a bit annoying sometimes. Ray, I don't know, man. It always seemed romantic to me. He called you the one that got away. Whoa! OP, wow, Ray. Never figured you for the romantic type. Most of my life here, you'd rather be under a car than a woman. Ray laughed. I was just waiting for the right one. You know how it is, apparently. he said, gesturing to Lily, and Lily's expression soured at that. And she looked away from us, mumbling something like, "But he didn't wait." She's insufferable. You can see through all the lovey-dovey stuff, right? OP is in La La Land, but the truth is right there before your face. OP changes the subject at this point, trying to bring the mood up again, and played into Lily's sharkiness. So Lily's pretty new to billiards and wants to play. "Ray, you've always kicked my butt at pool. Want to give her a lesson?" Ray cracked his knuckles and laughed. "Sure thing. I know a thing or two." He ordered a beer from the bar, as he always did when at Magoo's, and set off with Lily to play while Matt and I settled into a table and we waited for his food to arrive. "So, finally Lily, huh?" Matt asked. "Yep, the timing couldn't have been better, really. Heidi cheated on me and I was looking for an out. I was getting ready to break things off, but Lily sort of accelerated those plans. I gotta tell you, man, she's something. She's the one, you know?" Oh, look at this poor little idiot. Yeah, hindsight, such and such. Matt nodded. "I know, man. I know. Hell, I've sat through more than one of your drunken cries about her. I will say she is very easy to look at and seems really nice. I hope things work out between you two." Look at Matt coming in with the rational brain. I sipped at my Diet Coke, determined to not drink around Lily. I think I will. She makes me want to be a better person. I quit smoking. I'm not drinking nearly as much. I just want her to be happy. Yeah, by giving up all the things that make you happy, OP. Are you not seeing this? I put her through a lot in her life, drifting in and out. I just want her to be stable. I want to be someone that she can rely on. Ah, boy, it's good to dream big. Matt was about to respond when I saw Lily and Ray walking back to our table. Lily looking quite pleased with herself, and Ray giving me a death stare. "New to billiards?" Ray seethed through his teeth. I laughed. "How much?" $50 freaking dollars, man! You could have warned me! But that wouldn't have been much fun for either of us, I laughed as Lily sat down beside me, leaning into me and looking pleased as punch. Bro, you just sold out your friend. The logic here is just, I'm having a hard time following it. She slipped a 20 across the table and winked at him. "Sorry, I just had to. When OP mentioned you were good, I had to try it." "I don't want to play pool with her anymore," he grumbled, taking the 20 and stuffing it back into his wallet. Lily's face turned to a frown at that news. "Nobody wants to play with me." I chuckled. Well, maybe if you held back a bit, you'd have more people to play with. She looked at me as if I'd just spoken to her in another language. "If I'm not playing to win, it's not worth playing at all," she snarled, like liquid venom was coming from her. "See that? You see that? The mask. It slipped. I saw." I just held my arms up in defeat. Fair enough. Play to win. But you're too good for us mere amateurs. There might be teams here that you can join up with once you move here. Bro, you still really all in with this? Can we please at least think about it? This seemed to settle her a little bit. She relaxed again and clung to my arm. "I suppose. I just hope somebody in this town can give me a decent challenge." And she was serious about that one. When I say she was good at pool, I mean she was good at pool. Scary good. Far above amateur or even semi-pro players. She could have gone pro if she wanted. But for her, it was just a fun hobby that she kept in practice because it tied her to her birth father. But that was Lily in a nutshell. She'd find something she liked and laser focus on it until she mastered it. Be it a hobby, games, anything. She put her all into an obsession until she knew she was the best, or at the very least, was the best of everyone that she knew. I don't know if it's a question of her being the best or not. Maybe she just likes to degrade and destroy other people. Possibly it makes her feel better about herself, or something like that. Little armchair psychology, right? Anyways, we sat and chatted idly for a while, and through some careful diplomacy, Lily was convinced to relent her winnings back to Ray. with the promise that he would practice and challenge her again. Night had long since fallen, and being a Friday night, people were beginning to pour into Magoo's. I wanted to spend some one-on-one time with Lily, so we said our goodbyes to Ray and Matt and made our way home. I mean, at least she gave the money back. But yeah, all you did was call him in to be marks for this girl. You're bending over way too far backwards for this girl. Upon our return, there was a quick discussion on what to do. The Death Note live-action Japanese version movies were decided upon, so we settled into my bed to watch. We cuddled, laughed at the cringe acting, and just had a good time. Soon enough, the films were over, and there was an air of randomness in the room as the silence settled once the movie was over. Quickly, I got up and put on a playlist that I'd built of weeby music just for some background music. A core memory that will remain with me throughout the rest of my days will be snuggling with Lily, engaging in mild foreplay, while the opening theme of Serial Experiments Lane played softly in the background. Oh God, here it comes, the diabetes! Gently kissing one another, the soft guitar melody rang out across the room, and I remembered why I had fallen for her in the first place. We shared so much in common, a love of anime, its music, games, and weebery in general. Looking back, these were all surface-level, superficial things to love about someone, but I don't know, man, the heart wants what it wants. In particular, we both shared a love of the J-pop band 2mix, famous for their work on the Gundam Wing soundtrack. One track called Love Revolution began playing as we gave in to our passion. It felt apt. This was our love revolution. A revolution started long ago, raging against the throes of long-distance hardship years after I left Memphis, and yet, here we were, defying destiny or perhaps becoming victims of it. Ooh, I like that line. That's beautiful. Our revolution of love against all odds that we were finally together. We had a theory in our youth that the universe didn't want us to be together. Oh yeah, I'm definitely with the universe on that one. Hurricane Katrina happened because OP tried to move in with Lily. And OP admits as much. Perhaps in hindsight there was some truth to it. The song ended just as I was giving Lily an oral exam, as it were, and then it happened. I heard a very familiar guitar riff start playing as I was doing what I was doing, and Lily began laughing like a banshee. And to be honest, I couldn't hold it in either. I gotta say, performing the lingus upon someone while Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme song is blasting into the room is also a core memory, but a funny one rather than a tender and sweet one. That'll amp you up, dude. You'll really get the job done. I climbed back up to her and gave her a kiss while we both fell into a laughing fit. "Oh my God, really?" she said, gasping for air while laughing. Bit of a mood killer, yeah? I somehow wheezed out as well, and we laid there laughing for a good while before finally catching our breath. So shall we? I intoned, running a hand up her thigh once the song was over and we had gotten our giggles out. She nodded, and I returned to my work. We will tastefully fade to black again here, but yeah, we did it again. God, I'm so eager for the bottom to fall out. But at least we did get to see the mask slip and all that stuff. We had the highest highs in the first part, a little bit lower in the second part. Hopefully third, fourth part is gonna blow my pants off. So yes, we engaged in some light pillow talk after the act, holding each other's hands under the covers, weeby music still filling the small silences between conversation. At one point, things were quiet for a few minutes, and she had the absolute gall, the balls, the unashamed audacity to quietly sing, "Go, go, Power Rangers," and we began laughing again. Soon enough, the playlist was over. Silence fell over the room, and we decided to sleep. I turned over to go to sleep, and she sidled up behind me, trying her best to be the big spoon and failing miserably. "Just a little longer," she whispered in a soft voice that melted my heart while she snaked her arms around me. And there we fell asleep on a peaceful Tulsa Friday. How can you fail at being the big spoon? Lily really out here with T-Rex arms or something like that. I had one more day with her before she had to go home early Sunday morning to handle some family matters before work on Monday. Oh, he said family matters.
Did I do that?
I would count those hours. I didn't want to miss a single one. Not a single minute. She was here, and that was all that mattered to me. Everything else was just noise. This obsession, it's not healthy. I fell asleep quicker that night, her quiet breath on my neck somehow soothing, and that's where we'll leave things off for now. You might be asking, no beardery in this chapter either? Are you writing a love story? And to that I say, patience. Context matters, and while this may not be the typical fare for the type of content you get from me, it is coming, and this is all important framing. I want you to truly be in my mind as this tale progresses, and that means understanding who she was at this time and what she meant to me. No apologies for spelling or grammar mistakes. Own your freaking mistakes! Luca, out. I don't know how this series is gonna perform as a whole. This first entry is a little bit rough. What you really want to do is Tarantino around a bit and be like, you know, Lily threw a pot at my head, she pulled a knife on me, and then record scratch. Yep, that's me. How did I get into this situation? The story itself, little flowery, little too pretentious at times. I'm really hoping that the bottom falls. I love Luca as a human being, okay? But I also strive for honesty where applicable, and yeah, this couple of stories in particular, it didn't sate my need. But if you watch this far, I mean, I gotta thank you for that. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, do all them things. Links in the description, many social medias, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, TikTok, whatever you want. I'm somewheres. I'd also like to thank my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous Patreon patrons and YouTube channel members.
Jacqueline Schinder, Shy Dolphin Lady Griffin, Bedazzle Misery, Jerry the Barber, Green Gorse 67, Vaz the Rat, Inciting a Riot, Abe Wells, Sean Cantwell, Chronic Chef, Tusky, Mix Jackson, Gibbous Usagi, Quack Quack Bang, Skylar Raid, Zachary Rossman, Ghost Raven, Tally, Marks Lee, The Squirrel, Bearded Snake, Valley Eyed Crane, Justin Carlisle, John Endorse, Risk of Failure, Dawnbreaker Drake, Project Duke, Sam Meyer Scuds, Joanne Ross, Fire Drink, Me Jerry and Sue Jerry, Just Video Watching, Mel Jahan and Mute, Selwyn 666, Samantha, Origami Steve, Vladimir Dragonoff, Trade Boy, She's a Angel Dark, The Fez Wearer, Heaven Set 777, Robert Thibodeau, Grim Tribe, Tooth Plushie, Corey Arts, Florentic Waver, Dungeon Bat, Billy D, Robert Waits, Brandon Ashcraft, Phantom Danica, Skylar Morningstar, Gypsy Barber, and Death's Flagship. And that's just the YouTube channel members. Over on Patreon, we got, High on Caffeine, yeah, me too. Dawnbreaker Drake, Miss Black, Harley Owen, Robert Waits, Camille Sarah, Fluxer, Skal, to all my Nordic brothers, Yemeth, what could change the nature of a Jerry? Ellipses, Chef Dan was lame, but he runs his own kitchen now, so he's rad-ass, badass Chef Dan Jerry. Proud of you. Or Game of Steve, Santa Jerry, Silent Revolver, Vertical Loop, Zathras 28, the original Jerry, Jerry! Tato Ferret, Zarfar Barkar, Jerish Katsune, Jeanette 606, and Frankenberry, Assassin Pug Jerry, Billy D, Mitch Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Chancellor Blue Kraken, Commander J Tank, Dirty Little Jerry, Dr. Larts, dude, you're getting a Legbeard. Oh, sweet. Epoxy, Aaron Era, Eastbars, Griffin, Hadrian BR, Heathcliff, India, Irish Pirate, Iron Hollow, Iranian the Jam, JMQ, Jerry Blacktail, Juicy Lucy, and the Adventures of Daddy Saggy Baggy, Jukebox Jerry, Cuddly Kraken, Lady Italian Greyhound Dino, Lady Nix, MacGuffin Supreme, Finder of Tupperware Lids, Caretaker of Holy Sacred Feline Sir Fluffy Nuts, aka Onyx. That's my favorite Pokemon. Lady in Awakening, Lord Crow, Legitimate Girth, Livia O'Brien, Lord Jerio, Lucavex was a race car driver. Like and subscribe. Mad Mug, Melgar the Destroyer, Metal Factor, Needless King, Nineva Cathraptus. Paul Gaten Anderson, Prince Regicide, Princess Jerrikins and Jerry Beth, Gravencraft Helmonius IV, Sarita the Lolita, Scarlet's Coven, Sergeant Gay Cop, Silo Imp, Spinal number 21, Stephanie Goodner, Storm Jerry, Sidehampton Boomstick, Taco Bell, The Little Zoo, The One True Fusky, trying to find another mom to get back to the real world, Vanguard Angel, VC3, Viking Jerry, Vladimir Dragonoff, Wiggy Tack, Zachary Rossman, again, welcome. Lots of double dippers, huh? I love to double dip. Comrade Moody, Kira, not another Jerry, but he is though. Cage Alex 9, Bad Penny Lane, Captain Clown Jerry, Carcass, Third Stuff, Venom Jerry, Jace Christensen, One Leg Jerry's returned from battle, a normal Jerry, Amber Alder, Atomic Jerryzilla, Breaker of the Tom Army, Big Dad Wolf, Broken Spine Horseradish, Aguilar, Cake Jerry, the original different Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Chikara the Panda, Cowabunga Jerry, Crypt Titties, Dark Wolf, Devon Jerry, Deftitude, Deku, Delta Gregs, Dwarfy Dude, Jerry Boo's daughter, Goats of Alpha, Greymont 365, Half Slap Jerry in a tracksuit, He Cannot, Hydra Jerry Solomon, Janitor Jerry, I can't think of anything funny right now, me either. Jeffrey, Geralta of Rivia, Jerry Butt with 2 S's and E, Jerry Springer, the results are in you. Are the Neckbeard. Jerry the Sussy Baka. Jerry's mom has got it going on. Jerry Roxers. Jerry Roleplay Game. Machiasini. Maybe next time. Midnight Moonflower. Mr. Gas Mask. Not Invisible Angel. Raptor Art. Snary. That's Snob Jerry. Spoonie the Rogue. Spoopy Scary Jerry Todd. Starfish Soft Serve. Sensually Serving Soy. Oh yeah, I opened my mouth.
That's terrible.
The Gypsy Barber! They call me Jerry Two Knives. This is purely a mercantile transaction. To infinity Jerry and beyond! Tokyo Bird, Trickster, Unkale, Vaughn, Whimsy, Throw 2-liter Mountain Dew, Grow my neckbeard, grow! It's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher. Hygiene, it's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher. Humility, and thank you of course to the $1 patrons as well.
If you can join them, that's huge. If you can't, don't sweat it too hard. I do hope you'll come back, join us again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoyed today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos or something, right? Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy. You definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, friends, bye-bye.